I'll be honest with you, this just smells like another one of those, narratives people are going to obsess over and be scared away from EHEX and things like that. And we're still going to see it just recover rather nicely as we get bullish again. Now let's get to the fun stuff. So let's talk about this real quick. If there's any final thoughts you have on it. So this is mainly the drama that went down last week. Drama, whatever you want to call it. I think it's something interesting to consider. I saw Big Pep talk about it today. I really wasn't all that familiar with him. I know you were, obviously being a Hex OG, but man, that guy, I love his streams. Really cool dude. So go follow Big Pep. He has more subs than us, so I don't know if I really need to say that, but go check him out. But he was talking about this today, and we all experienced this last week. So I'm not trying to get into the PHEX EHEX debate anymore. I think it's pretty much been settled that if everybody sells off EHEX, the whole ecosystem just tanks, obviously. But so this Hex God Whale sacrificing 800, let me get this right. Was it actually
800 million hex?
Yeah. To this BankX project, which is a silver back, not a gorilla, but a silver backed stable coin. That largely seems to be from extremely shady characters. And I heard Matty Allen talk about this. He actually met them in Vegas. He talked about it at length. So this is not of my mouth. I don't know them. But if Matty Allen's going to go on and on about it and say that, I would trust him. But what do you make of this? Not talking really about like I mean, we don't give a shit about BankX, obviously, but it's a silver-backed stable coin that was built on Pulse Chain or something. And the Godwell we saw sent 800 million EHEX to that wallet. And now or pegged. Yeah, I'm sorry, Briz. But yeah, so basically that, everybody's afraid they're going to dump it, obviously. So what do you think about this? Well, because to me, and I agree with Big Pep, it just smells funny. I don't know why would Godwell get duped into sending SAC money to these people? I think there's something more going on.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, unless he's a partial owner.
That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I think maybe this was more of a, I'm buying in, I'm going to kind of support you guys here. And whether there was a, backroom agreement that, he said, I'll do this, but you can't dump it all. Maybe there was, I don't know. I do know there was discussions of them reaching out to Richard Hart. They reached out to several people.
Yeah.
I believe there was a smart contract being built that would allow many people to buy the majority of it OTC. So, yes, there's a lot of concern. 800, but honestly, 800 million hex trying to hit the market at one time would send it to zero, but it would quickly recover. They wouldn't get much value for it, with the amount of slippage that they would have. I do believe they sold Brizology. Do you know? I think it was 30 million, 40 million maybe, which I think gave them, $100,000, a couple $100,000 or something like that. When they first got it, but then they stopped. So that's all that was sold at first. But yeah, something just didn't seem right. Just because the guy has made a couple good decisions doesn't make he's going to make all great decisions. I don't know enough about BankX to comment on them or who they are. But like you said, there are others that are saying that they aren't really, they don't trust them. So yeah. I can't say that myself. Again, I don't know them. I don't know who they are, or haven't followed them. But yeah, I feel like there was more to it. Maybe he knew them. Maybe there has to be more to the story than him just dumping such a big bag. Now, he did have several billion hex. So for him, 800 million for a potential investor ground level, if he believes in this thing, maybe he's a silver bug from way back. Who knows? Yeah. Like, it's hard to say. He is, we don't know much about him. So yeah, something's not right with it. But
Yeah.
hopefully it doesn't sell. If it does, I hope they dump it all at once, goes to zero, recovers quickly, and we move on. But I hope they do it now rather than, at the height of the bull market.
Well, it's definitely curious, and like I can't figure out what they're trying to do because you shared with me. We both saw it. I think everybody saw it. But that account, that BankX account, tweeted at Richard talking about strategies for it and that they don't want to hurt the coin that we all love and all this stuff. And it's like, do you really think he's going to negotiate or talk to you about this in any way? And
It's like,
what do they even mean by that? I mean, I don't even understand what they. So, in other words, you are going to dump it? What are you
right,
talking about here?
right. Yeah, it sounded like that was their intention, and they wanted to, it's like we don't deal with terror, or we don't negotiate with terrorists. So, kind of the same thing. If they want to dump it, I would rather see them do it now. Briz seems to think it was more closer to 100,000. I thought it was like 80 grand. I thought maybe they were just using it to pay some people or some developers or to do whatever. But about 10 million coins were already sold, and that means they still have 790 million to go.
Yeah. Well, we'll see where the saga goes. I mean, I do think it is something that has been, I mean, I know it is because I've heard people say it, looming over some people's heads as investors in this Pulse Chain ecosystem that are afraid of like the EHEX price just blowing up one day because of this sell. I think there's different strategies there can, out there to avoid that. But I'll be honest with you, this just smells like another one of those, narratives people are going to obsess over and, be scared away from EHEX and things like that. And we're still going to see it just recover rather nicely as we get bullish again. Hey, it's a hellhole right now. I mean, like it's below, 0.7 of a penny. I mean, that's just what it is. Didn't think we'd ever see these prices again. But is that even true? I mean, back in December of 2022, there were people like, oh, maybe a penny, maybe down to a half penny. Now here we are 6 months later after the launch of Pulse Chain, and we're there. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
and after a split too, not to mention,
yeah,
if it were just one and we went that far, it would be rough. But because of the stock split, so to speak, with the two chains, it makes a lot more sense.
mm-hmm. And all that economic energy split over all this whole ecosystem. I mean, Hex would, I think, be comfortably over 3 cents right now if we did not have a Pulse Chain launch.
Yeah.
I think that's just where we'd be. But yeah, so that's where we are. And we all pretty much figured that EHEX would be the thing people would sell off to get into this. So this just brings all that perspective in. There's so many things that have to happen over the next 2 years. Not have to happen, but that are going to happen with retail and people getting back into this market. Like people don't even know about Pulse Chain yet. Oh, there's traders out there that aren't aware of this market and are looking at all the new shiny new toys. That's Pulse Chain is going to be that as people come back to this market. So, people are going to realize it, and a lot of that money is going to flow back into Hex, like it or not. Really, that's just where the ecosystem is going to go. So,